Sorry, I forgot. 19:26. I had it backwards. I was thinking 26:19, but Matthew 19:26. And it says, "But Jesus looked at them and said to them, with men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." Now, I think about this, and of course, Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I think about how people try to apply this to their daily lives, and it's great. We should put all things onto Christ. That is the Christian way. But I think oftentimes as Christians, we take this to two extremes. And those two extremes are either we put everything into Christ and literally do nothing. We do no kind of works. We take no kind of actions. We just say, well, it's in God's hands. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and leave it at that. Or we do the other extreme where we keep everything in our hands. We think we need to do all the work. We need to make stuff happen that, God isn't necessarily going to be there for us. And I would think this side is more of a, either a non-Christian or somebody who, maybe it's a worldly thing you're going after, or, they just don't have quite the faith that they should have. They think it's something that they need to do. They're too arrogant. They're too prideful. That's a better word. They're too prideful, and they think that they have to do everything on their own, and they can't put any kind of trust in God when it comes to certain things. Maybe not everything, but certain things. And I think this is a huge issue. Both of them, to me, are a huge issue. We look at James chapter 2 and verse 26, I believe it is. Don't quote me on that exactly. Go look it up for yourself. All the stuff I say, think about it for yourself. But James 2:26 says, "Faith without works is dead." And also Matthew 7:21 through 23, talks about, "Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, done many works in your names?" And Jesus turns to them and says, "I never knew you, you workers of iniquity." I mean, how crazy is that? The day that Jesus is coming, and he says he never knew us. And going back to James about faith without works is dead. So we can't have only faith. We have to have works. And so I try and live my life by saying, I'm going to do what I can and leave the rest up to God. Or, some people say, leave it to the man upstairs. I try and do what I can, and then the rest of it, I give to God. Of course I pray and everything, have faith in him. But when it comes to things of this world, I, do what I can. I know there's no way that I can work out my own salvation. I'm not worthy of salvation, stuff like that. So don't take this the wrong way. I'm not saying that you have to do works in order to get into heaven. That's the only way you can get into heaven is working your way into heaven. No, I'm not saying that at all. I do not think that at all. But I do think we have to have some kind of works. Why else would it say in James chapter 2 about faith without works is dead? So we have to have works with our faith. We have to do something. But we have to have that faith nonetheless. We cannot solely depend on our works to get into heaven either, like I just said. So I think those two extremes of faith alone will get you into heaven, and works alone will get you into heaven. Essentially, that's what those two are. You're on one extreme or the other. And there has to be something in the middle. Yes, we have to do our work, but we also have to have faith in God. And I think about, a really good example was this, when I was in college, people would be, "Oh, just pray about it. Pray for a test." God doesn't care, first of all, what kind of grade I get in a class. And second of all, if I just pray, again, it goes back to him not caring. If I just pray to get an A on a test, it's not going to happen because I didn't do the work. I didn't study. So you have to put in the work in order to reap the rewards. Yes, you have to put the faith up to God. You have to put things in his hands whenever they're out of your control. But you still have to put in work. by sitting here and just saying, oh, I'm just going to put it all in God's hands. I don't think that's right. I honestly think that's a lazy way out. I know there's things that are out of our control, and I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about the things that we can control. It's kind of like the song, Jesus, take the wheel. You really think if we just said that every time, that, oh, I'm just going to let Jesus take the wheel, how long you think you're going to be on the road? I mean, seriously. But that's how we treat life sometimes. We treat life like Jesus is just going to come down and take over that steering wheel for us. We have to do something. I'm not saying everything. Again, I cannot emphasize this enough. We have to do something. At the end of the day, it is impossible for us to get into heaven without God, but we have to do some works. We have to show him that we love him. We have to show him that we respect him. By doing works, by doing things in his name, things for him, it pleases him. It shows him that we love him. And that's what he expects from us. So if you think you can just skate through life on your own works, or by putting literally everything, I mean, you doing nothing at all and expecting your life at the end of time to be fulfilled, I hate to say it, but you're wrong. The Bible talks against this. And again, I want to make sure I emphasize this, that I do believe you have to have faith. I do, but you also have to do works. And it's not your works that are going to get you into heaven, your works alone. It's the faith and works together that are going to get you into heaven. Now, I know this may be confusing, and I don't want you to just take my word for it, guys. You need to go look at the scriptures. Again, Matthew 16:26 is what I started with. James 2:26, or somewhere in there, I believe. I also talked about Philippians 4:13. And then lastly, I talked about Matthew 7:21 through 23. So go back, look at those scriptures, study some other scriptures for yourself. I would love to get your input back on this. I'm not right about everything. I'm only a man, but I wanted to provide some scriptures for you to think about your life. Think about, how you can improve your life. And I hope you do go study this and you do think about these things and apply it to your life. And once again, guys, thank you so much for listening to this message. It means a lot to me. Please go like, rate, review, leave a comment. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. I don't care. Just give me anything. I want any kind of feedback. And with that, guys, have a blessed day.